Hey everyone, it's Tenrek with the Esport Company, back with another dive into the tech files. Today I'm with Jesci. Jesci, it's great to have you.
Thank you for having me. I'm pretty excited.
Go ahead and introduce yourself, tell everyone where you're from, what team you're on, what games you play, and what you do for tech.
All right. Well, for starters, my name's Joseph, whatever you want to call me. I do the HR side of things for tech. I work. I'm the director of HR Player to Conflicts. I work alongside Kate Foster. She already was on here. I think you guys had her. Used to play COD. I'm retired now. I'm what the kids call a boomer now. My reaction speed's not there anymore, so I had to give that up. I did play for Johnstown Steel for the first season, then moved on to the GM side of things for Indiana, so out of the COD loop for a while. I did try to make a comeback this season with Armada, but didn't work. I just didn't have the skill.
Can you tell everyone some hobbies that you have outside of tech? What you do when you're not working with the Esport Company?
Yeah, I have 2 kids, so I pretty much anything to do, spending time with them. I try to take them fishing, hunting, or not hunting, but I hunt personally. I'll take them to play hockey. We have a local roller rink nearby here in Johnstown, PA. Take them down there, play some hockey. Sometimes go to the playground when they fight for it, but outside of that, not too much. I'm a quiet life man. I don't do much.
So tell me how you first heard about tech.
It's kind of an interesting story. My brother was he's absolutely insane at Fortnite. He used to play with, the likes of King Richard and such. He was friends with Seth. He met through playing in the tournaments that Seth used to run through American Esports up at the mall. Got to talking. They ended up forming Johnstown Steel, and then my brother was like, you're good at Call of Duty. Why don't you apply? Why don't you come play? And one thing led to another. I reached out to Seth and Brian. I believe they were the 2 that did my interview. And next thing you know, I was part of the Johnstown Steel with American Esports, playing Call of Duty and kind of getting that jump started. The best way to put it is Call of Duty was a laughingstock of Johnstown Steel at the time. We were really struggling to get off the floor. Went through 3 or 4 different rosters trying to, they would always split up. Call of Duty, it's the egos. We had to get away from that, and then we finally got a jump started. And next thing you know, we're in tech, and we got a whole league now.
And can you tell me more about how you got to the position that you're in now?
Yeah, obviously I started playing Call of Duty as just a player, and then after a couple of those roster resets, I took over as captain. I brought in another well-known player around the league, and he's actually working in HR with me as the manager, Murph. I brought him in, and as well as another player. We kind of revamped the whole scene in Johnstown, COD-wise. Started recruiting, getting everything done, being the best captains we could be, leading by example. And then one thing led to another. I guess Seth kind of seen what I was doing. He offered me, he came to me that they were going to start tech, expand, open more teams up. And they had an open position for Indiana at the time. And he asked me if I wanted to be GM. He said that he liked the way that I was able to lead and kind of revamp the whole COD scene within Johnstown Steel. And I took over as GM there, and the rest is kind of history. I just kept kind of working my way up, through hard work, basically.
And can you tell me what your responsibilities are now, considering the position that you're in?
It's kind of tricky. Most of the time, it's dealing with player conflicts. It's in the title. I know that's kind of cliche for me to answer, but when 2 players aren't seeing eye to eye from opposite teams, and one thing leads to another, in the heat of the moment, the competition, it brings out the passionate side of some people. Some people brings out, kind of bad side, and it eventually gets reported to us. We'll investigate into it, look into as much as we can, gather as much information we can, talk to all the witnesses as much as we can. And then go from there, deal with the players, have them, if they can't hash it out, we'll have to step in and, take the correct measure or correct steps that we have to take. Kind of just keeping peace amongst the community, moderating channels or servers, moderating each team server, the tech main server, just making sure things don't get too hectic in there. And as we know in the gaming community, that could happen sometimes, but we just try to keep it PG within the tech family. We want to keep that community aspect and make sure not everyone's attacking each other.
That's great to see. Yeah. So to maintain that sort of positive environment as the director of those relations and overseeing all of these players and how they interact with each other, what are your go-to responses or compromises to conflicts that may arise?
I don't really have a go-to. Each case is way different. And each person's different. Each person kind of requires a different approach. Some people, you have to bring out the dad voice. Some people, you have to talk on a much, calmer level. Some people, everyone's different. So a lot of the times I'll try to, pull out the, is it that serious card? Is that one match, that one little teabag that player did, is that really worth, if it'll snowball into a chain of events and eventually one thing leads to another, you could possibly be removed if you cross a certain line. Is that really all worth it? Is that something we want to keep doing, or is that something we want to move past? And usually that one of the go-tos that I like to use as much as possible.
Well, to anyone new entering tech as a player or as a member of staff, what's your best advice to them in order to maintain a positive environment here?
That's a good question. Tough question, but a good one. One thing that I personally did is, if I seen people causing drama, no matter what kind of atmosphere you're in, whatever team aspect you're in, you're always going to have like one of those guys that want to see chaos. They'll try to drift the team apart as much as possible. They'll try to drag other people in it. Sometimes those people aren't aware of what's happening, but they'll just make little sly comments on the side about, so-and-so doing this or so-and-so saying this. Not really being upfront and transparent with people. And one of the big key things I learned is, especially if you're dealing with a captain, whatever case may be, go to the direct person that there's an issue involving with, whether if you just didn't like the in-game strats or whatever the case may be, just go to that person and say, hey, I kind of didn't like what you did. It kind of made me uncomfortable, made this person uncomfortable. Maybe there's a different approach to it. That type of thing. Transparency was a huge factor for me because, like I said, the Call of Duty, the atmosphere that I started in when I, with the roster resets, it was a lot of that, a lot of high school drama, a lot of guys talking about other people, and try to stay away from it. Try to keep a low profile and just kind of power through, work as hard as you can, because it's going to get noticed, whether it's a GM, a captain, an AGM. There's many people always watching. Someone will always notice the correct steps you're taking to keep a low profile and keep your head down and just keep grinding and keep pushing. It'll go rewarded, that's for sure.
Great. Well, thank you so much for joining me today, Jesci. I really appreciate it.
Yep, thank you.
Thank you all for watching another dive into the Tech Files as well. We'll see you next time.